The Internet of Things, or IoT for short, is a term coined in the 1990s. Essentially, IoT is a slang for the collection of devices that have an ability to connect with the Internet. Organizations ranging from startup to academia to government, all the way to corporate, have utilized various types of devices which fit within this field. IoT's popularity is governed by both the value that it promises to create and the market growth and the prediction, as it allows people and things to be connected anytime, any place, with anything and anyone, ideally using any path or network or any service. In this video, we will explore how IoT affects us as marketers in our activities, as well as our future implications for us as a whole.
The future for the Internet of Things is an exciting one where we have objects that know who we are as human beings and what we like, what we want and what we need, and they act accordingly. They don't need instruction, they just know. The application and use of the Internet of Things spans across numerous areas such as wearables, smart homes, smart cities, industrial automation, and many more. There's already a wide range of applications for these devices, such as heart monitoring implants, automobiles with built-in sensors, biochip transformers, farm animals, search and rescue devices, smart thermostats, washer and dryers that utilize Wi-Fi for remote monitoring. Many of these technologies are novel. As marketers, we need to pay attention to the hierarchy of needs. A good example of where misalignment has taken place is in the smartwatch industry. Apple Watches and Samsung Gear and LG Watches, consumers are abandoning these products because they do not feel the need for them. Some consumers are buying the gold editions or rose gold Apple Watches specifically so they can look better amongst their peers, but the focus on one's health is where consumers are sticking to. So companies like Fitbit, which offer very simple versions of a smartwatch but cater towards the monitoring of health, is the number one reason for purchasing and owning and sustaining a smartwatch. A good reinforcement of this idea is where smartwatches are moving towards more stylish, with only a pedometer or a gyrometer actually installed in the smartwatch, so they'll have very, very minimalistic digital features. So what we're seeing is a growth of hybrid smartwatches, but not full digital smartwatches. Another thing that the hybrid smartwatch growth reminds us as marketers is we must adhere to the competency and ability of our customers. If products are straightforward and easy to use, a person is much more likely to feel satisfied with that purchase. Understanding the type of person that would buy this specific type of watch, for instance, a marketer can appeal to their high level of psychological motivation, their self-esteem, their professions, their hobbies, as a way to persuade future purchases. Possibly better evidence of the importance of the needs model is the adoption rate of cameras for monitored security alarms at the homes. While the Internet of Things increases by both the consumer and the businesses, we can expect such changes in the retail industry, such as automated checkouts, wearable devices that provide additional convenience to customers, and businesses are able to use that information to pull up information for sales. Now, beacons are also quite relevant and quite useful technology. These small devices can combine mobile data collection with hardware by interacting with nearby smartphones. We expect and already are seeing smart shelves that can let you measure the results of retail execution strategies. In other words, a full adoption for Internet of Things is integrated during the omnichannel, which is usually a frustrating process for businesses. But by incorporating various types of devices, businesses can decrease the difficulty that's usually associated with collecting and integrating data and systems. Not only by just observing customers in shop, but also collecting the data for the interactions they have in store, businesses are able to target specific niches of customers designed to specific products. They're also able to decide and understand which customer buys which products and cater multiple touch points towards that specific customer. This in turn leads to an increased loyalty and increased purchasing overall. This means the messages that go out to these customers are more targeted and specific to exactly what that customer wants, or at least close to it. By having more specific campaigns and targeted sales, a business benefits mainly by reduced inventory numbers, improving the operational efficiency of the shop itself. Every consumer has their own individual story as to why they're entering the business. By collecting the data from various touch points from the Internet of Things, businesses can generate an understanding as to why the shopper is there, who they are, what they're actually seeking. But now we can see in-store activity, and that can trigger different points of the data which we as marketers can use to optimize and improve the customer experience in the entire journey from before they interact with the brand to post-purchase. A well-rounded example of a brand utilizing this self-actualization need is Nike, where they use their slogan "Just Do It" as the motivational statement to help users get through the physical pain of training that's required to achieve results in their activities. One of the exciting aspects of adoption of this technology is for what it means for collective intelligence, crowdsourcing if you will. With social media campaigns, we can get immediate feedback on an idea, a new product, whatever the case may be. Using Internet of Things, consumers have the devices on them, so we can get instant feedback loops for any new strategy that we implement. Utilizing communication platforms that are convenient for the customer comes right back down to relationship marketing, essentially putting the customer at the front and center of communication from the business. This method assists with customer retention by making it so easy for the customer to get in touch with the brand from not just verbal or text, but just simply interactions. You are building up brand equity. Customers like to know that the brands that they are trading with are at the top of their game. Again, it just gives value to the customer's voice, market orientation, putting the customer right at the very center of decisions that was made. An opportunity for marketers in that case would be to enable customers to give critique and dissent, basically offsetting operational expenses that you'd normally pay for designers. You can potentially allow customers to innovate for you and provide the value and feedback amongst themselves. Usually the more tech-savvy consumers tend to be influencers on the social platforms, and that's important because if we take into consideration like Facebook, Twitter and Foursquare, research shows that the most powerful users are those that influence across a number of different networks.
It is clear that Internet of Things is already having a significant impact on our retail industry. Everything from improving in-store shopping experience for customers to making retailers much more profitable, efficient and unique. IoT offers the ability to connect both people and things. This gives retailers a greater insight on who the customers are, how products are performing, and new ways of engaging with new and existing customers. An immediate flow of information about the item of clothing they want to buy. This flow of information follows them wherever they go. Using their smartphones, they can see products, read reviews, share opinions, switch from one online shop to another, and purchase the product. And they can do this wherever they are and whatever they're doing, whenever they want. It would be wrong, however, to believe that every individual embraces technology in the same way. It would not be an exaggeration to say that the concept of mass consumption, the idea where everyone tends to buy the same item in the same way, is weakened. With digital technologies, consumers become more aware of their possibilities. They want to personalize their shopping experience. They want to stand out from the crowd. But they also want to exploit the power of technology for a more convenient way of shopping. So basically, digital technology empowers consumers without dominating them. Therefore, consumption scenarios have become very complex. The complexity and flexibility of consumer behavior dictates the dramatic change in retailing. That change should become consumer-centric, and so new retailers should be fluid, flexible, and happy to adapt. New retailers should become based and should be able to redesign that experience based on the change of the consumer behavior. This experience-based approach should happen through all the channels of engagement with consumers, such as physical store. The physical store is not necessarily the point of sale anymore. Today it takes on new roles, such as a place of entertainment. There are so many new ways of being a physical store, such as a pop-up store, where brands operate in specific locations for a limited amount of time, or an online store. This is the e-commerce platform for buying and ordering goods, a platform that is becoming increasingly customized through the use of data analytics tools. And even social media. This remains a key channel for engagement between brands and customers and for building brand awareness and customer loyalty. Social media sites are also becoming online selling platforms. Transformations like this can have a number of dramatic impacts on the operations and the management of retail, such as 1. Moving from generalized to personalized interactions with customers. 2. Managing customer engagements and dealing with customer retention issues. 3. Understanding the impact of changing customer relationships. 4. Understanding and managing new horizons of security threats, both physical and virtual, such as cybercrimes.